Did you know that over 100,000 people unknowingly took part in one of the most revealing creativity experiments ever conducted? Not artists competing in a gallery, not writers submitting novels. Everyday people, teachers, engineers, students, designers, parents, and they weren't told they were competing against a machine. They were simply asked to be creative. What followed challenged one of the oldest assumptions we have about intelligence and about ourselves. For centuries, creativity has been treated as something sacred. Logic could be mechanized. Labor could be automated. But imagination? That was different. Creativity was spontaneous, emotional, human. Even in the early days of artificial intelligence, researchers openly admitted that creativity might be the final barrier machines could never cross. A computer could follow rules, but creativity meant breaking them. Until researchers began asking an uncomfortable question. Psychologists have been studying creativity for decades, and their methods are surprisingly concrete. One common test asked participants to list as many unusual uses as possible for a simple object, like a brick or a paperclip. Another asked them to create a short story using random, unrelated words. These tests don't reward correctness. They reward originality, flexibility, and novelty. In other words, how far your mind is willing to go beyond the obvious. These tests have been used on artists, executives, and students for years. This time, researchers decided to scale them globally. What if creativity isn't magic? What if it's measurable? The study expanded beyond labs and universities. Over 100,000 participants from different countries and cultural backgrounds took part. People with no creative training. People who considered themselves not creative, people who thought creativity was something other people had. And then the researchers added something new, an artificial intelligence model. Same instructions, same prompts. Researchers evaluated several leading large language models, including ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and others, and compared their performance with results from more than 100,000 human participants. The findings highlight a clear turning point. Some AI systems, including GPT-4, exceeded average human scores on tasks designed to measure divergent linguistic creativity. Our study shows that some AI systems based on large language models can now outperform average human creativity on well-defined tasks, explains Professor Kareem Jerby. This result may be surprising, even unsettling, but our study also highlights an equally important observation. Even the best AI systems still fall short of the levels reached by the most creative humans. Further analysis by the study's co-first authors, postdoctoral researcher Antoine Belmar-Pepin, University of Montreal, and PhD candidate Francois Lespinasse, University Concordia, revealed a striking pattern. While some AI models now outperform the average person, peak creativity remains firmly human. In fact, when researchers examine the most creative half of participants, their average scores surpassed those of every AI model tested. The gap grew even larger among the top 10% of the most creative individuals. They developed a rigorous framework that allows them to compare human and AI creativity using the same tools, based on data from more than 100,000 participants. Same evaluation metrics. The results were scored blindly. Judges had no idea which responses came from humans and which came from AI. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then patterns began to emerge. Across multiple tests, the AI's responses ranked consistently higher than most human participants, not because they were longer, not because they were faster, but because they were more unexpected. In some tasks, the AI outperformed over 95% of human responses. That wasn't supposed to happen. Creativity had always been considered messy, intuitive, emotional. Yet here was a system with none of those qualities, producing results that humans judged as more creative. And that forced researchers to ask why. The answer wasn't intelligence. It was restraint. Humans filtered their ideas before ever writing them down. They worried about sounding stupid, about being judged, about breaking invisible social rules. Even in anonymous experiments, people hesitated. The AI did not. It explored ideas humans abandoned too early. Statistically speaking, creativity favors volume and variation. The more ideas you generate, the higher the chance of producing something truly original. Humans stopped early. The AI did not. But the most important result didn't come from humans or AI alone. It came from collaboration. When participants were allowed to use AI as a creative partner, their scores increased dramatically. People became bolder. They explored stranger directions. They treated the AI's ideas as sparks, not answers. Human AI teams consistently outperformed every other group. This wasn't automation. It was augmentation. And it revealed something profound. The researchers explored whether AI's success on this simple word association task could extend to more complex and realistic creative activities. To test this, they compared AI systems and human participants on creative writing challenges, such as composing haiku, a short 3-line poetic form, writing movie plot summaries, and producing short stories. The results followed a familiar pattern. While AI systems sometimes exceeded the performance of average humans, the most skilled human creators consistently delivered stronger and more original work. These findings raise another important question. Is AI creativity fixed, or can it be shaped? The study shows that creativity in AI can be adjusted by changing technical settings, particularly the model's temperature. This parameter controls how predictable or adventurous the generated responses are. At lower temperature settings, AI produces safer and more conventional outputs. At higher temperatures, responses become more varied, less predictable, and more exploratory, allowing the system to move beyond familiar ideas. The researchers also found that creativity is strongly influenced by how instructions are written. For example, prompts that encourage models to think about word origins and structure using etymology lead to more unexpected associations and higher creativity scores. These results emphasize that AI creativity depends heavily on human guidance, making interaction and prompting a central part of the creative process. The study didn't show that AI is more creative than humans. It showed that humans limit their own creativity far more than they realize. Creativity isn't about inspiration. It's about permission. Permission to explore bad ideas, absurd ideas, ideas that might fail. AI doesn't ask for permission. And when humans work alongside someone that doesn't judge them, their creative ceiling rises. The study offers a balanced perspective on fears that artificial intelligence could replace creative professionals. While AI systems can now match or exceed average human creativity on certain tasks, they still have clear limitations and rely on human direction. Even though AI can now reach human-level creativity on certain tests, we need to move beyond this misleading sense of competition. Generative AI has above all become an extremely powerful tool in the service of human creativity. It will not replace creators, but profoundly transform how they imagine, explore, and create for those who choose to use it, rather than signaling the end of creative careers. The findings suggest a future where AI serves as a creative assistant. By expanding ideas and opening new paths for exploration, AI may help amplify human imagination rather than replace it. By directly confronting human and machine capabilities, studies like ours push us to rethink what we mean by creativity. So what does this mean for the future? If creativity can be amplified, if imagination can be expanded, then the question isn't what AI will take from us. It's what it might unlock. The experiment didn't reveal a future where machines replace human creativity. It revealed a future where humans finally stop holding theirs back. And that may be the most unsettling and hopeful result of all.